What up with it, bro? It's your boy, O to the D, aka Knowledge General the Jews, you know how I do, also known as Hebrew Chewed on these YouTube streets, aka Leatherface, and you gotta remember, Leatherface is a franchise. Now, before I get this started, man, let me go ahead and make sure I get plenty of this, man. Y'all need this, and y'all make sure y'all don't get dehydrated, man. At all times. You know what I'm saying? At all times. Alright. Now let's get to the procedures. Oh yeah. Shouts out to kinfolk, man. RIP to my peoples, man. But let's go ahead and get to the procedures of this reaction video. As you can see, this is 10 worst bug infested houses. Gotta light up to this one.
Huge headaches for homeowners. Here are the top 10 worst bug infestations in houses. Number 10. The bedbug ridden bedroom. This video, posted by Town and Country Pest Control, is called The Sickest Most Infested Bedbug Job in Syracuse, New York, and it is aptly named. When exterminators were called in...
Pause. This is some good shit. Pause. How did they live in that house? That is like quadruple billion bed bugs, you know. And I gotta be real with you, man. Don't y'all know nowadays bed bugs is more frequent? Like, bed bugs ain't just something that nasty people get, for y'all that don't know. Bed bugs is spread in America, something vicious. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's multiple houses that got bed bugs. If you getting furniture from any place and you don't know where you're getting it from, you could be getting bed bugs. Like, that's how easy it is for them to slide through. For real. But they, what happened was the chemical they was using back in the days to kill them, they had to stop using it because it was messing us up too. So, in the process, the infestation is out of this fucking world.
To this Syracuse home, they found the worst bedbug infestations they had ever seen. They were able to immediately identify an infestation, as there were bedbugs on the curtains. From there, they went to the bed, which was covered in bedbug feces and blood spots. But nothing could have prepared them for the horror they discovered when they pulled back the bed frame. The bed frame was literally caked in bedbugs. Number 9. Invasion of the honeybees. When Loretta Yates of Ontario, Canada, saw something dripping from a crack in her ceiling...
Hey, bro, I didn't have all the honeycomb stuff, but I promise you, my wife will tell you, we had an apartment, and I had bees in my apartment, man. They took, like, forever to get them bees out, like at least a week. And you can hear them zzz. They was all up in the vents and shit. You can go outside, and on the side of my apartment, they was all on the wall and shit. Like, man, I got a video of that shit. I'm going to have to bring it to y'all.
She didn't think much of it. But a few days later, her husband noticed swarms of bees outside their front door. From there, new cracks started appearing in their ceiling, all dripping with a strange substance. Turns out, the substance was honey, and their home...
Yeah, man, they hit the jackpot, man. What they mad for? You got all that honey up in your house? Y'all better sell that shit. I'd have sold that, bro. We'd have been millionaires off the bees in the house.
...was infested with bees. 2 massive bee colonies had formed in the first floor ceiling. They called in the beekeepers, who spent 6 hours scraping out the honeycombs. There were over...
Yeah, they got all that honey.
80,000 bees in their home, and 220 pounds of honeycomb was recovered. Amazingly enough, neither of them were even stung during the infestation. Number 8. Attack of the brown recluse.
I'm scared now, bro. I don't do spiders, bro. I don't do spiders, bro. I don't do spiders, bro.
Ryan and Susan Trost of Weldon Spring, Missouri were ecstatic when they bought their new home in 2007. Little did they know at the time, though, that their new home came with a plethora of unwelcome house guests. Days after they moved in, spiders began leaking out from the walls. The couple, horrified, immediately contacted an exterminator. But ridding this bug-infested house of its guests was not an easy task. The couple spent 4 years battling the intrusive spiders, which were brown recluses. At one time, there were more than 5,000 of these dangerous spiders living in their walls. Before we move on, be sure to subscribe to Daily Top 10s with notifications on so you
I've been out of school for 4 or 5 years now.
don't miss any of our videos. Number 7. The Infested Apartment Complex. An apartment complex in Augusta, Maine in 2016 was so badly infested with bedbugs that the city was actually forced to call an emergency ordinance. The building had shared bathrooms and a shared common area, so the bedbug infestation had spread to all corners of the complex. When city code enforcement was called in to investigate, the entire complex was crawling with these tiny bugs. They were in the walls, all over the floors, and in the bathrooms. In fact, they were in every single room in the building. The infestation was so bad that a city task force of professionals was brought in to clean up the mess. It was the worst bedbug infestation that Maine had ever seen. Number 6. The Battle of the Australian Spider Beetle. Nadine McLaughlin.
You know something, man, real shit. I'm feeling real biased about this damn top 10. You put another damn spider on her again. See, they playing with me, man.
From Spring Hill Park in County Tyrone, Ireland, was living in her home with her 3 children when she was forced to flee her home with only the clothes on her back. One day, when she noticed that her kitchen table seemed damp, she turned it over. She found hundreds of Australian spider beetles underneath. From there, she panicked and went into her living room, where she overturned her couch and ripped off the cloth. There were thousands of beetles crawling around inside her sofa. Terrified, she took her 3 children and fled to her parents' house. Her house was fumigated 5 times, but after every fumigation, she still found more beetles. Finally, she was forced to give up and leave her home forever. The beetles had won the battle. Number 5. The stinkbug takeover. Urbana residents were overwhelmed.
That's a real stinky situation.
When their farm was taken over by stinkbugs. Stinkbugs are no stranger to the area, and they are highly invasive. But the stinkbug infestation on this farm is far beyond the average infestation. The stinkbugs were so bad that the residents couldn't even go outside without stinkbugs flying into their mouths.
Whoa.
The farm was inundated with them. They were in the walls, in
Talking about stinky ass breath.
the windows, even inside their cars. During an interview on the news, you can see the homeowner swiping away at them while she stands outside her home. And stinkbugs are not harmless. Not only do they have a very pungent odor, but they also bite. The homeowners were bitten several times by these awful bugs. And although the bugs will go away when the temperatures drop, the owners have been warned that the invasive bugs will return again in the spring. Number 4. Bedbug baddies. Pest controller Rory McCarty of Bug Boys is no stranger to bedbug infestations. In fact, bedbugs are probably the most notorious bugs when it comes to infestations. However, stand down. Called in to investigate a house in Maryland, U.S., he stumbled upon the worst case of bedbugs that he had ever seen. The bedroom was slathered in eggs, and the bedbugs were literally crawling around every corner of the room. They were in the curtains, in the cushions, on the chairs, in the bed frame. McCarty had worked as an exterminator for 25 years, and he had never seen an infestation this bad. And, in an unbelievable turn of events, he found out that the owner was still sleeping in the bedroom. How anyone could sleep through one of the worst bedbug infestations ever is a complete mystery. Number 3. The historic cockroach swarm. One of the worst cockroach infestations in recorded history happened in Schenectady, New York in 1979. NYPD
That's terrible. They just threw New York on blast like that, man. Shouts out to New York.
officers were called in to respond to a noise complaint. The officers, not knowing what to expect, cautiously got out of their car, and then immediately...
Hold up, man. That's a lot of damn roaches. They had a noise complaint. Look, y'all just heard that live, man. Well, not live, but on the upload. Roaches, for the first time in history, got the police called on them. Even roaches, for a noise complaint.
wished they hadn't.
Up.
From the moment they stepped out of their vehicle, they were swarmed by cockroaches. Inside the house, a cockroach swarm was ankle deep.
Oh no.
Outside, cockroaches were spilling out of the home, swarming over the trees outside. They said the street was barely visible in places as cockroaches scurried across it. The police called in exterminator Harry Linendahl, who said during an interview for the press that the number of cockroaches in the building is definitely in the millions. There was a 64-year-old resident living in the swarm. She was taken to the hospital to be treated for extensive cockroach bites, and some of her pets were so badly bitten that they did not survive. Any talk of the legendary Schenectady cockroach infestation of 1979 still makes exterminators shudder to this day. Number 2. The ticking time bomb. Lieutenant Colonel Chubb Gerard and his family were excited to move into their new home at the U.S. Marine Corps base in Okinawa, Japan. But soon after moving in, they discovered that a lot of this new space was already taken up by ticks. Like a real-life horror movie, they discovered that the ticks were everywhere. They were in the roof, in the floorboards, in the bathrooms. The family was terrorized and terrified.
That's the new movie, Ticks.
As they knew it was only a matter of time before the infestation became worse. They quickly called an exterminator. The ticks were identified as brown dog ticks, which are known for infestations. The entomologists began exterminating, but quickly discovered that it was the worst case of tick infestation that they had ever seen. Still, the house was fumigated, and the family was happy to return. But when they came home,
I wonder what's going to be number 1. Please don't be spiders. Please don't be spiders.
they found that the place was even worse than it had been when they had left. Not only were there dead ticks everywhere, but the living room was crawling with live ticks. Not wanting to...
Hey, so what this is telling you, though, man, the worst thing that's cracking right now in America is basically bed bugs. You know what I'm saying? They was on there like 4 or 5 different times.
relive the nightmare, the family fled. Number 1. Cockroach Armageddon. Professional exterminators are prepared for the unexpected when it comes to bug infestations, but sometimes even the most prepared exterminators cannot prepare for the magnitude of bugs they will find. The infestation in this home is not only unparalleled, it's caught on camera, so people can see for themselves just how ugly a true cockroach infestation can be. When exterminators were called into this home, they brought their camera to film the footage. They didn't know at the time, though, that they would end up filming one of the worst cockroach infestations ever caught on film. The house is filthy, which makes the conditions ripe for cockroaches. But as the cameras begin to pan the kitchen, the extent of the infestation becomes clear. There are cockroaches in the sink, in the dirty dishes piled high on the counter, in the corners and crevices of the door frames, creeping out of the cracks in the walls. The exterminators know at this point that this is a pretty epic infestation. But it gets worse, because once they start to exterminate, the full extent of the infestation rears its ugly head. The roaches swarm out of the walls, and hundreds of dead cockroaches litter the floors and countertops. There were thousands of cockroaches living in that infested house, and the footage of this infestation is so unnerving that it has earned itself an uncontested top spot on the list of 10 worst bug infestations in houses. Check out our previous...
We've seen how far...
Bro. Hell no, man. That's crazy. Hey, you pay me the right money, though. I exterminate the shit out of them. I'm gonna keep it 5 with you. I don't know how to be an exterminator, but if the money right, give me the poison and the gloves and stuff, I'm on it. But you gotta give me a lot of money for that shit. But that's crazy, man. So try to keep your house up. Try to keep yourself up. Y'all watch this thing with me. I ain't even watched it until I watched it with y'all. That's crazy. Scary shit. Watch whose people's house you go into. There's some bed bugs everywhere, man. So, you know what I'm saying? Shit look weird. I be like, nigga, I don't even want to be in your house. You know what I'm saying? I don't want them motherfuckers in mine. But alright, then. It's your boy O to the D. I'm signing out. And remember, if you ain't getting knowledge, you ain't getting nothing. I crew this.